How you going, guys? Nathan Appo here for Deadly Choices TV. DC Fit Live Pilates session again today. Big Dave, how are we, mate?
Yeah, mate, good yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. Good for a Friday.
Yeah, mate, it's always good to be a Friday afternoon, isn't it?
Yeah, excited for the weekend. Mate, we've had some amazing sessions this week. DC Fit, Good Quick Tucker, JT in the podcast.
Some deadly kindies as well.
Yeah, deadly kindies, but excited for another session of DC Fit Live Pilates.
Yeah, mate, got the Pilates. We've got a couple of the boys, couple of the program officers, and our deadly Ambassador Brandon Wakeling to come down in. So we got a Tyrell here as well. So we got a few of the boys coming in to do Pilates for their first time as well. So
I thought it was T-Pain there for a second.
That's
with
it.
the fresh cut. And also we've got Nathan Yates there from Mildura, Mallee District Aboriginal Services, with the young fellas there, Jed and Nate. Big hello to the guys down there. That's my bungee there, Nathan Yates. He's just setting up his camera. And we've got the lovely Charmaine as well. She's tuning in from about 20, 30 metres away from us in the cafe from corporate services. So she's given up her time and her afternoon to do Pilates. So before we get stuck into the session, guys, this is your chance to share the live stream, tag your friends as well, all the mob, so we can get in and start exercising together. But yeah, we're going to cut to two breaks, two ads, and we'll be back in a few seconds.
Managing your family's health concerns just got a whole lot easier. Community members can now dial into participating community-controlled health services from home via video teleconference or over the phone to access all health-related services. If you or any of your mob are on a health management plan, living with chronic illness, needing to keep up to date for regular appointments, or simply wanting medical advice or to complete a 715 health check, the telehealth service is a deadly way to maintain optimum health. Contact your community control health service and book an appointment today.
Our Deadly Choices programs will be coming online soon. Be sure to join our Facebook group to learn what our programs are all about and how making deadly choices can assist you and your mob.
Like we said also, I am checking Facebook Live as well. We've got all the comments coming through. Noel Lean already is saying hi, and Jacinta as well. Hi, DC team. So if you are exercising at home, please take a photo, video, send it through to us, and you might even win some prizes as well. So, Davey, tell us a bit about this Pilates session, because I'm excited about it.
Yeah, mate, so we got a Pilates session. As per usual, Nate, you'd be excited to be sitting on the sidelines and watching, mate. We had a lot of talk from you over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah,
next week.
I go home and I do these from my living room, because, I mean, it's a great setup. You know, you can do all these sessions at home in the living room with the mob. So, yeah, it's a great opportunity to get fit and healthy and do it together. But, yeah, I'm still learning about all these Pilates, and I'm just keen to watch T-Pain do all these sessions here and not have Rick here next to me.
That's it. Well, Rick will no doubt be watching at home because his man Brandon's in the
Yeah, that's right.
in the studio. But Nate, like I tell the mob at home, I take a photo because I don't believe you until we get the photo of you actually exercising in that lounge room.
No worries, I'll do that this weekend.
Next week we'll get that. All right, but enough of fun and games, guys. So we're just going to go into our waiver. So as per always, guys, our DC Fit exercises are generalised exercises. If you have any physical health conditions or any limitations, make sure that you're modifying these exercises in an appropriate way for you. You guys know your health the best. So looking after yourself. If something does cause any pain, go back to the previous exercise, and that's going to where it doesn't cause any pain, and stick with that. And then we're going to continue through as we're going. All right, guys, I'll just get stuck into it. So I like what Nate was saying. So we are going to do Pilates today. For all you mob at home, who have been doing Pilates over the past couple of weeks, it's going to be a bit more of an intenser session. So we're not going to do as many exercises, but we're just going to do more of a few, if that makes a bit of sense. So we're just going to start off with our first exercise as per always. So it's going to be laying down on our backs, having our knees and our hips bent. And so I'm having your feet about a shoulder width apart. As you can see now, Brandon had his arms out wide for a bit of extra support on the ground. And then if you want to make these exercises a bit harder, I like what Tyrell just had. I'm having your hands across over your chest. It just makes it a bit harder because you don't have that extra balance and support out to the side. So the first exercise is just going to be what we call our transverse abdominis activation, or a TA activation for short. So what we're going to be doing is I want you to bring your belly button in towards your spine, but you're not going to be taking a big breath in. So it's not going to be sucking your guts in like what Brandon just did. It's just going to be slowly squeezing those core muscles, stopping yourself going to the toilet. So stopping your ones and your twos from happening. And then you just are going to be holding that contraction for about 5 or 10 seconds. What I want the boys in the studio to do is to make little pistols with their fingers. So to make little guns with their fingers, and then they're just going to pop that just inside their hip bones for us. So just around the front there. And then so what that will do is that when they relax, those core muscles, they'll be able to feel that tension go away under their fingers. But then when they squeeze, you should be able to feel that tension come back. And that's how we're going to tell if we're keeping these muscles nice and activated. So through all of our exercises today, the most fundamental part is just going to be squeezing those core muscles while we're doing all of our movements. If you feel those that contraction start to flicker and then start to go and start to turn off, that's the point where we stop and we reset back to the first one, and then we keep going. So just going to be keep holding that contraction for that 5 or 10 second lots. As per always, here at DC Fit Studios, it's all about a good quality contraction. So we'd prefer a couple of really good quality movements rather than 10 gammon movements as we're going our way through. So we're going to focus on doing reps of 10, but if you're getting to 6 and 7 reps and then that's when you've got to stop, that's perfect as well. So now that we've got that one, what we're going to move onto is our leg slides. So it's just going to be a one leg at a time, and we're going to go for 10 reps, and we're just going to take that 1 foot, sliding it out in front of us, and then slowly bringing it back. As you can see there, Brandon's got 1 foot up in the air, which is going to make that exercise a lot harder for him. Tyrell's just keeping his supporting foot on the ground. So for Tyrell, it's super important that he's not pushing through that supporting leg. So he shouldn't feel any tension in his hamstring at all, and that his leg that's doing the movement should be doing all the work. For Brandon, we don't want him to have any arc in his lower back. So he should have rolled his hips backwards so that they're nice and flat on the ground, and then by squeezing his core muscles, is actually going to stop him from getting any arc in that back. So having too much of an arc in that lower back can actually cause some back pain, and that's the last thing that we want.
Tina says she loves the Pilates sessions. Denisha Duff, deadly. And it's good to see everyone tuning in.
Perfect. It's always good to keep all you mob at home happy with what we're doing. So if you have any suggestions, make sure that you are sending them through. So what we're working through here, guys, is just going through trying to get a 10 on each side. If you need to have a break after 4 or 5, that's perfectly fine as well. So there's no, we're not racing here. It's just all about good quality movements. Our boot camp sessions are a lot more higher pace, and we're going as fast as we can. Here in our Pilates, it's a good way just to wind off for the end of the week and calm down.
Yeah, so Wayne Campbell's got a question. This is great. How long, when you first start Pilates, how long should a session be?
So really, it just depends on your own personal fitness levels. If it's your first time that you've done it and you're starting to feel really fatigued and tired after 10 minutes, that can be a good point to stop. If you've got a bit higher level of a fitness, you can do half an hour or 45 minutes. You really wouldn't want to be going anywhere over that hour point for your first time.
Brother Nate, don't go to sleep there. You're looking very relaxed.
You're just reminding yourself for later, Nate, when you do this in your lounge room?
Yeah. Looking good, brah.
That's it. The boys are working hard, which is good to see.
Yeah, got the boys there as well. Nate and Jed and Charmaine's doing a great job there.
That's it. So Char's been doing Pilates with us here. I'm here as part of our IUE wellness groups for quite some time, so she's pretty good at Pilates, mate. So she'll give us a run for her money, that's for sure.
I know Nathan Yates there. He's a Titan supporter, but he's wearing the Sharks jersey.
That's it. So we're going to keep going through to our next exercise, which is what we call a lift and extend. So Brandon's going to have his 1 foot up in the air, and then his bottom foot is just going to lift up, and then it's going to extend nice and straight out in front of him. Tyrell's going to keep his supportive leg on the ground, and it's going to be like a 4-part movement for Tyrell. So it's going to be up, extend out, bring back to the body, and then a lower down, and then nice and slow and controlled. So with these exercises, if you are when you're doing these at home, it's up to you. If you want to go a left, right, or you can do a 10 on the left and then a 10 on the right. It's just going to come down to personal preference.
Davey, also, I was just wondering, if you've done a pretty tough, session, boot camp or whatever it is Pilates a good way to sort of wind down in the afternoon or after a session?
Absolutely. So Pilates is a great way, especially the day after, just to help with your active recovery. So for example, if you do a really tough DC Fit session on the Tuesday and you're still feeling like the muscles are probably a little bit tired and a bit tight, Pilates is a great way to get ready for our Saturday DC Fit session, which is going to be a good family one.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So going for a walk, just trying to do any form of a gentle physical activity, it is a great way as part of our active recovery, and Pilates is definitely a great part of that too.
Nolene, big hello from Mactown, Mackay. Thanks for tuning in.
That's it. So the boys are doing a great job here. Tyrell's not putting any pressure at all through that supportive leg, which is what we want. I told him before we went live, he's got to pretend like his foot's on a bed of nails. So he's probably a bit scared. I'm going to get the hammer out later. There we go. So Brandon's actually been doing quite a heavy a week of training for his Olympic weightlifting aspirations. So I will have a yarn before, and he was saying just how keen he was just to be able to get a bit of a stretch in, bit of active recovery, help those legs recover. He was saying he did a back squat with 205 kilos, I think, this week, which is pretty damn impressive.
That's pretty solid. And we've got DC Fit tomorrow as well, Dave. A bit of a tougher session tomorrow, which is a great way to kickstart the weekend.
Absolutely. So we've got a real good, family-friendly session for us tomorrow. So it's going to be good fun for everyone. So it's going to be like a great way just to get your Saturday started, get your physical activity in, and then you don't have to worry about it for the rest of the day.
That's it. I had a friend of mine from the Torres Straits tune in and do the session. So, we're going to hopefully link up with a few of the mob who want to do the DC Fit session from home. Like you can see Nathan Yates there and Charmaine linking in. If you'd like to do that, send us an email or send us a request, inbox us, and we might be able to set you up.
Absolutely. So our next exercise that we're going to do is just going to be our leg circles. So once again, we're just going to do a 10 on each side. So we're going to do a 5 clockwise and then a 5 anti-clockwise. So Brandon's going to have his 1 leg up in the air, and Tyrell once again is going to have his supportive leg on the ground. So the same rules apply. Brandon's going to have that lower back nice and flat on the ground, and Tyrell's going to have that foot on the bed of nails. It's super important when we focus on this, in that we remember taking your foot as close towards the ground as possible is going to make it super hard, because the legs actually increases its weight in relation to your body, or having your foot up a little bit higher, but keeping it nice and straight is going to make it a bit easier for you too.
Big shout out there to Brandy Alberts. I can see her that she's joined the live stream. Maybe she's at home doing the Pilates as well. One
of our deadly ambassadors, so a real good triathlete. So this will be great for her running off the bike, which is a pretty important part.
Yep.
All right, so the boys have done both sets, or have we just done one set of our 10 for those now? Done? Perfect. All right, so now we're going to just have a quick 10-second rest just to let those muscles recover. As you can see so far, these have all been some great ways we can strengthen our core and strengthen our lower back without actually moving our lower back at all. So if anyone does have any lower back issues, just being careful with our next set of exercises, because now we're going to start putting some movements through our lower back and our core as well. So our next one is just going to be an abdominal curl. So what we're going to be doing is the boys are going to stick with Brandon doing our level 2 and Tyrell doing our level 1. So Tyrell's going to have both his feet on the floor, hands tucked in behind his head, and just doing a little curl. So bringing his shoulder blades up off the ground, and then Brandon's going to pop his feet, both his feet up into a tabletop position. And now with Brandon, he's going to keep his knees super close together, and he's just going to be popping up and just squeezing those core muscles on the way up. if you want to make this one a bit more challenging for you at home too, so freezing at the top and just doing a count of 1, 2, 3, and then slowly back down, and that's really going to get that a beach body ready for when we can get back out there into the community.
So Wayne Campbell, another question. He's watching from Adelaide. Morning or evening, which is better time for Pilates?
So this is a real good question, actually. So I myself, I much prefer to do my Pilates and my physical activity in the morning. It gets me started. It helps us switch my brain on, and I notice I'm a lot more productive for the day versus my partner. She much prefers to do her Pilates in the afternoon as a bit of a wind down and a relaxation before the evening starts as well. So it really just comes down to your own personal preference, Wayne. But I reckon we're going to have to... there have been some great questions, Wayne. So if you got any more, make sure you keep them coming for us. All right. Our next exercise is going to be our oblique curl. Our obliques are the muscles which run down the sides of our lower ribs, and then they attach to our hips, and they actually allow us to do our twisting and our rotation movements. So the boys are going to get started there, and so Brandon's just going to be taking an elbow up to his opposite knee. So it's just going to be nice and slow and controlled. When we might have been doing these exercises as part of our boot camps, we're probably going a lot faster. Here we're just going to be keeping that a nice and slow pace, focusing on that control.
I like these exercises. It's great for the abs, that core work.
Absolutely, mate. You can grate some cheese on your abs.
Yeah, that's how I wash my clothes.
Make your pizzas.
That's it.
There you go, Nate, working hard with the boys too.
Yeah, it's good to see. And I think the great thing about our DC Fit Sessions is, we're able to exercise together, representing deadly choices. But, within these challenging times, these Pilates sessions, DC Fit Sessions, Good Quick Tucker sessions, they can all be done at home in our living rooms or kitchens, which is great.
That's the way. So I will let all the mob at home. I just finish off those last little ones, and then we're going to get a move onto our toe taps. So Brandon's going to be doing this one with his legs raised up in the air, and he's just going to be reaching up and then touching his opposite hand to toe. And Tyrell's going to be doing a heel tap exercise, which is just going to be going from side to side, keeping his shoulder blades up off the ground. So once again, really are working our oblique muscles, which really help as part of our rotation. So we want to keep nice and strong obliques, as well as the muscles running down our lower backs, and then also other muscles which form our six pack, which then help us as part of our flexion forwards as well. So it's good to keep all the different sides of your core structure nice and strong, and then that's going to really help you through the future. So we're just going to do a second set of those two in about 5 seconds time, have a bit of a rest, and then we're going to get going because those ones are nice and quick. So off we go again for our second set.
Good work.
There we go. So the boys are for people who have never done Pilates before. So the boys are doing a great job here in the studio. They're doing a great demonstration for us, which is great.
Keeping that social distancing as well, of course.
Absolutely, mate. It's the most important thing at the moment. So keeping that social distancing is what's going to help us allow to get back to life as quickly as possible.
How's Charmaine going there?
Having a rest.
Yeah, having a rest. Yeah, just waiting for the camera to be.
She's timing her run to perfection, that lady. All right.
And Nathan, the boys, how you going down there?
They're still working, doing extras.
Feeling the burn, old Nate. Good work, boys. Great work.
That's it. Them young ones should be nice and fresh for this. All right, so next one's just going to be a pendulum, and this is probably one of our hardest exercises that we're going to do as part of our session today. So the pendulum is just going to be rocking from side to side, and then our top leg is just going to be extending out in front of us. So the top leg goes across, and then it straightens out. As you can see there, Brandon's keeping his arms folded across his chest, and he's just rocking a little bit more. But his core has to control all of this, and that's not letting him roll over from side to side. Tyrell's got his arms outstretched, which is just giving him just a lot more support and balance, which makes it a little bit easier on our lower back. So if we do have any injuries, this can be a simple modification to the same movement. All right, that's probably a time for a quick 20-second rest. So if you guys, if you mob at home, have got a water, a great time just to grab a drink, and then we'll keep going through with our next round.
So have you seen the work plan for tomorrow, the DC Fit session for tomorrow morning?
Yeah, mate, it's going to be a tough one. That's another Janice Blackman special, I believe. So for all you fans of Janice Blackman out there, you know it's going to be a tough session. So yeah, it's a real good one. It's a great one for the whole family unit to be involved with.
Yeah, and we had mob tuning in, especially for the Saturday morning session from all over. I know Renee and Wayne tuned in from Mount Isa. So we had people all around the place tuning in for that one. And like we said, it's a great time to exercise. We had some really good positive feedback about the session, so we're going to keep it going and come in on the weekends and do another session for everyone.
It's a great way to start your weekend the right way. All right. So what we're going to move on to next is another one still laying down on our backs, is just called a single leg stretch. So the boys, we're going to do 2 sets of 10 of this one. So the boys are going to be pulling those legs back, trying to keep those legs nice and straight, Brandon. So you want to keep your knees nice and straight. That's it. So pulling back, so it's getting a bit of a hamstring stretch, and then you're going to swap over. There we go. So it's going to go through 2 sets of 10 of this one. There we go. So you can see Brandon's keeping his shoulder blades up off the ground, which is meaning that his core muscles are engaged through the whole time. If you find that a little bit too difficult, as we can see, Tyrell is just having his head resting on the ground, and then that just takes a bit of pressure off that lower back, and then I'm off that neck as well.
Yeah. Tina's tuning in from Kingston, and Charles Davis. What time is that tomorrow, boys? So it's 9:30 session tomorrow. It's 9:30, goes to about 10:30. So yeah, it's going to be a good tough session. So make sure you're hydrated, you got your space ready, and had a little bit of brekkie, but it's going to be a good session. Yeah,
a great session for the whole family to get involved with as well. So we do say it's tough, but we know everyone and all the mob at home is just going to be going through at their own pace.
That's right.
And it's just about challenging yourself to do the best that you can.
Yeah. I take that theory into golf as well.
A couple other theories you take into golf too, Nathan, like kicking the ball out from under the trees.
Right.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Calculator doesn't really work that day.
Nah. Oh, you play golf like they play cricket, don't you? Higher score wins?
Something like that.
That's it. Yeah. So just nice and slow and controlled. So Charmaine's doing a great job there. So we'll let her finish off, and then we'll keep going into our bicycle legs. So the boys are just going to start off with our bicycle legs here, which is just going to be a bit of like a crisscross sit-up, bit of a progression, as well with our extension of those legs going out from side to side. So the boys are going to do 2 sets of 10 here. So we're going to do 10, then we're going to stop and have a quick rest, and then do a second set.
Good to see my auntie Cheryl Jaya Appos tuned in. No doubt she's doing these exercises at home too.
Too deadly, auntie. That's it. So these ones are really going to get that a lower core to start to burning, which is exactly what we want. So it's all just about having a strong foundation with our core muscles. It's not about having what they would classify as like the six-pack and the beach muscles on the outside, but it's about building the strong foundations on the inside. That's it. So Nate and the boys working super hard there.
They're working hard there. The camera can't even keep up with him.
Going that fast. All right. I reckon because the boys were doing that good at home, we're going to go through for a third round of this one too.
Yeah, nice. I like that.
This is what happens at DC Fit. You do good work, you get rewarded. So I'm off we go for a third round of these ones. We can thank the boys at home for this one back in Mildura.
Yeah, good work. Pushing through.
That's it. Great job, Charmaine. Last time I seen you down at Presto's kitchen, you were getting a feed, so it's good to see you working down here this time.
So yeah, it'd be good to have everyone tuning in tomorrow. Make sure you tag your friends and family, and maybe organise a bit of a watch party to do the session. And then we always we have some prizes that we send out. We sent out a few prizes from just Saturday's session. If you're doing a session tomorrow, send in your photos, your videos. You can tag us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and you might even win a prize.
Hey, so what other
you
prizes,
will win
mate?
a prize. You will win a prize. We've got some Daily Choices shirts, some merchandise, water bottles, DC Fit water bottles. There's a heap of stuff there that we're sort of stockpiling at the moment.
Yep.
And a few shirts from last year as well, so that are still very
very sought after.
Very sought after. So yeah, so we'll definitely send some prizes out to you if you are exercising at home, and you send in a photo or video.
Perfect. All right, so the next one's called 100. So as part of that, we're going to do 100 of these ones just to make it appropriate. So what the boys are going to demonstrate for us, it's just going to be a flutter kick with their feet, and their hands are just going to be pulsing up and down next to them. So keeping their hands at the same pace, and then the feet is going to be doing a flutter. So what we want us to do is to, if you do find it challenging, break it down into little groups of 10. So 10 groups of 10. As per everything else, don't rush through it too fast to the point where you can cause an injury. So nice and slow and controlled. Squeeze those core muscles in, and then make sure we got a nice flat lower back. So quite often we will have to break this up into smaller groups as well. There we go. So the boys are just having a bit of a rest, and then we're going to go through and do some more. That's it. So Brandon's doing a great job Brandon's doing a great example of he's not got his chin too far tucked into his chest. So it's just like he's just trying to hold a tennis ball just under that chin there. So it's a nice. So his neck's just nice and soft. It's not pulled in all the way. There we go. And Tyrell's just having a bit of a break. So it's a super hard exercise, and this one's really going to get that a core burning. It's important that we keep our breathing nice and regular as well. So we don't want to be breathing too fast, but just trying to keep it nice and controlled through all of our Pilates exercises here.
We need to play some T-Pain music for him.
A T-Pain or Kimbo Slice, I'm not quite sure which one we're looking at here.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm a bit scared. Tyrell's one of the nicest fellas we know, so it's all good.
Just in unison there, just in sync.
That's it.
Good work.
All right, so next one's going to be scissor kicks. So it's just going to be lifting your shoulder blades up off the ground, and then we're just going to be doing lateral scissor kicks. So it's just going to be moving our legs from side to side. So we're going to do two sets of 10 of this one again. As you can see there, Brandon's just lifting up a little bit higher, which is just making it a bit more difficult for him. And Tyrell's got his hands there supporting himself on the ground, so he's got that a little bit extra base of support. So doing 10 of these, I'm having a quick rest, and then getting straight back into our second set of 10.
Just a bit of a heads up. Next week we've got Gemma Mai from the Queensland Firebirds, who is actually going to be involved in our DC Fit Session and the Good Quick Tucker sessions next week. So,
hey, too deadly.
Yeah, she's going to be tuning in from home, and we'll be able to try and have a chat with her and see how she's exercising with DC Fit. So pretty exciting.
That'd be super exciting. So we've got a 45-second challenge for her set up. So we know that they're just getting back stuck into their pre-season. So it'll be a good little hit out for her. So test her fitness out with the best of them.
Yeah, that's right.
I reckon. All right. So up we got next is we're just going to be working our way onto our side-lying series. So we're just going to be laying down, facing the camera for the boys here in the studio. All your mob at home, you can choose which side you're going to do first. So we're going to go through 10 of these exercises on one side, and then we're going to roll over and then do 10 on the other side. So we're just going to start off with a clam. So the boys are just going to bend their knees and their hips up to about a comfortable position, making sure that their feet are in line with their hips. So we're just going to get the boys just to pop off their elbows and just to be laying down on your side, as if you're laying in bed.
I thought Brandon was waiting on the beach for a photo shoot there, just laid up on the beach.
Waiting for Uncle Rico to come take his photo, that fella, I reckon. All right. And then so what we're going to be doing is we're just going to be keeping our ankles together, squeezing our core muscles, and then I want you boys just to lift your ribs up off the ground a little bit, so you've got like a little bit of a tunnel down under your ribs. So it's almost like I can drive a tiny little Hot Wheels car under those ribs, and that's going to really help us engage those core muscles. And then keeping your ankles together, and we're just going to lift our knees up into the air. So that's perfect. So while we're doing this, I'm making sure that we're not leaning back. So we're going to want our hips to be leaning forwards, and then what that does is it activates our glutes, and that's going to get the glutes firing and get that bunty burning. Because if we're leaning back, then our hip flexors are going to be working overtime on our quads, and because we're all probably spending a lot of extra time sitting down at the moment, our hip flexors are already going to be super tight. So we really want to make sure that our quads are nice and strong. Otherwise, we're going to start to get some back pain. There we go. So Tyrell's doing a great example of that. You could probably even move your knees a bit closer up to your chest, I reckon, Tyrell. There you go. So you want to have those knees out in front of you. Perfect. Yeah, so Brandon's got that good sort of angle there. So having your knees out in front and even leaning forward a bit more for us, please, brother, there. Perfect. I wonder how the boys and Nate are doing back in Mildura with this one. I see
That's
2 out of
good,
3
yeah.
was working hard. One was
Yeah.
just waiting for the camera to come back, so that's a little bit cheeky out there.
Doing good, you mob.
That's it. So Shah's doing a great job. As we mentioned before, Shahn's a bit of a Pilates master. She's been doing it for a while, so she's got the experience. But that was why we asked her to come on, so that she could just help guide us and to keep us in check today.
That's right.
Nathan was getting a bit rowdy last week. All right, so we're just going to be going through and doing 10 of those. So once you've done your 10, then we're going to roll, and then we're going to stay on that side, sorry, and we're just going to do a reverse clam. So this one's just an opposite of what we did before. So it's going to be keeping your knees together, and then your feet are going to come up for us for this one. I'm in the studio. Yeah, perfect, Brandon. So keeping those knees together, and then your hips just going to be rolling on that angle, and that foot's going to come up in the air for us. There you go. So Tyrell's doing a great job. He's even making it a bit more difficult for himself by keeping his toes pointed down nice and low. So that's a great progression. You didn't even know he was doing it, I reckon, but he was just getting... That's it, getting those glutes working overtime, which is good to see. So Tyrell's one of our program officers here, based out of our Mat 6 clinics. So running our Deadly Choices programs. I'm out now at Moreton Bay region. So a lot of you mob probably recognise him from around the place. So I'll make sure when you see him, you say hi. There we go, perfect. All right, so now that we've done those, now we're going to do our raised clam. So what we're going to be doing here is we're just going to be keeping your... So just going to raise your feet up into the air. So keeping your feet together, that's the way. And then your top leg is now going to be doing our traditional clam movement. So keeping your bottom leg raised up, that's it. And then the top leg is going to open up. So it's nice and slow. So this one really gets that core working. Really gets both the sides of our glutes. So we can see there. So Brandon's starting to lean back a little bit. So we want him to lean forward, and that's going to get those glutes really activated. So I'm sure that after this session, Brandon will be lifting 207 kilos on that back squat. So nice and slow and controlled. And so like we said before, if you're only getting through 4 or 5 of these reps, but they're good quality ones, that's much more important.
Yep. They're doing real well, the guys. Charmaine, Nate and Jed at home down in Mildura, doing a great job. Thanks for linking up with us today. The thumbs up.
That's it. The boys are enjoying it, so the boys are going to be ready for a good weekend, I reckon.
That's right, yeah.
And mate, they might be hobbling around a little bit after some of these bunty burners today. Right, so
no
next
house chores after this, surely.
Surely not. So next one's just going to be a total clam. So what we're going to get here is that our top leg is going to remain nice and flat as we raise it up. So we should be trying to keep the angles between our knee and our ankle at a perfect, nice and flat level. So it'd be like if I put a glass of water on a Tyrell's calf, he wouldn't spill a drop. Perfect. Okay, so the boys are doing a great job here. So making sure that we're leaning nice and forward, Tyrell, and that's going to help activate those glutes. There you go. So you can see by the look on Tyrell's face, it's a bit of a tough one, especially after doing these other exercises. So it's all about nice and slow and controlled movements here. So all you mob at home, if you are finding this one quite difficult, it is a very difficult exercise. And if it is causing any pain in your lower back, or just going back to the previous exercise that you feel comfortable doing, there's absolutely no shame in that. So it's all just about doing the best that you can. And then when we come back in a couple of weeks, trying it again, because hopefully we've built up a bit of that strength.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the great thing about this is you've got a resource there if you want to do any of these sessions at any time through the week or after on the weekends, because you just can go to Facebook and all the sessions we've done in the past maybe 5-6 weeks are still there.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a good way just to challenge yourself and to record your improvements as we're going through. So our next one, so we're going to stay laying on that side as well, is we're just going to be keeping our top leg nice and straight while our bottom knee is going to be in that bent position. So Tyrell's going to bend that one a little bit. And just like what Tyrell did before, how he kept his toes are pointing to the ground. We're just going to lift our top leg up and down. I'm just going to do 10 reps of this. So nice and slow. That's the way. Perfect.
Not long now. We're nearly finished.
That's it.
Nearly there.
It's getting close. Getting close. That's it. So Nate at home are trying to bring those, leaning those hips forward a bit. As you'll roll over, you'll really notice the difference as the muscles start to turn around from your hip flexors into those glutes. So the more forward that you're actually leaning, the more those glutes are going to be getting that work in. There we go. And you can probably see just that look on his face changes. He starts to feel that burn as well. So he's doing a great job. That's how we know you're doing it too easy, when you're smiling in Pilates, I reckon.
Yeah.
All right. So we're just going to have a quick little rest and just give those bungees a bit of a whack, because it is quite a hard one. And then we're going to roll over and we're going to go through and we're going to do these on the other side. So if you have a drink, make sure you're just getting a bit of a drinking, because it's super important. We're keeping our fluid levels up. Even when we're spending a bit more time inside under the air conditioning and the heater and that sort of stuff, that can dry you out. So making sure we're getting enough water in.
Good. So how many more exercises do we have?
So we're going to go through those 5 exercises are there again, and then we're going to do 3 laying down on our back, and then that'll be a must for the day. A couple stretches, and then that'll be it for the working week until we come back tomorrow, Nate.
Tomorrow morning, nice and early, we'll be in here.
Absolutely.
Yep. And big thanks to the guys, Rob, Jackson, and Sam in the production team. Always producing the best quality DC Fit lives.
That's it. They're working super
possible.
hard.
That's it.
Jacko was even doing some push-ups behind the scenes before, which was good to see.
Doing a couple. I walked in and he's stretching up and doing some push-ups.
That's
the lad
it. Didn't have anything to do with the fact that his dad was having a bit of a guest appearance in the office this morning. So he was just trying to keep up appearances there, I think.
Yeah, that's right. Condi's tuning in as well, just making sure everything's running to schedule.
That's it. He's a taskmaster,
That's
Uncle
it.
Condi. All right, so now we're going to get back into our clamps here. So once again, I'm making sure that we're leaning forwards through those hips, and that our feet are in line with our hips and our shoulders, and that those knees are just coming up. So just nice and slow and controlled. We should be able to. I'm having that little gap under our ribs, so we should be able to drive those little Hot Wheels cars under there. So just nice and slow, squeezing those core muscles as we're moving through. If you're not quite getting to 10 reps, that's perfectly fine. It's just all about the quality, like we say. Now, you'll probably notice that your bottom glutes are going to be burning a bit more than the bottom glute was in the previous set, because it's already fatigued as well. Talking about fatigue, though, Brandon looks like he's barely even started that fella. Mr. Relaxed. All right. Now we're going to keep it moving onto our reverse clamp. So once again, it's just going to be bending at the knees. So Tyrell's keeping the challenge going for himself. So he's keeping his toes pointed down nice and low, which is good to see. Geez, no wonder Brandon's doing it easy. He's got no gap under his ribs. We need to make sure we can bring that up a little bit higher. There we go.
Also, Davey, a few people have been messaging us at Deadly Choices here, wanting to know when the last installment of our TikTok is being posted, and I can give you an update. It is being posted this afternoon. As far as I know, it's going to be in the next half an hour. So the winner of the TikTok will be announced as well, with a bit of flair from Preston Campbell in the video. Yeah, so that'll be posted up. It's a bit of a funny one. I did get a bit of a sneak peek today, and we'll be posting up that this afternoon. And the winner of our Queensland or New South Wales hoodie will be announced in the TikTok video. So yeah, congratulations.
It's super exciting there, especially for a lucky community member at home who's getting a freebie.
Yeah, not so exciting for Steve and his dance moves, because he's been copying it from everyone.
You can't be great at everything, no, Pearl.
That's right. That's right.
Got to pick and choose. Pick and choose what you're doing. Unlike us, Nate.
Yeah.
Who were just great at nothing.
Yeah, true.
All right. So now we're going to work over to our raised clam. So it's going to be lifting our feet up in the air. So making a bit of that a diamond position, and then that a top leg's going to be raising up. So really trying to keep that a bottom leg nice and still. Keeping those ankles together, Brandon. That's the way. And it's just our top leg is just going to be lifting up. Jeez, look at that focus on the boys' faces here. A focus or pain, Nate? You be the judge.
Yeah, I think it's focused. They're doing well, the boys. Charmaine's doing an amazing job there as well, and brother Nath Yates there, and Nate and Jed. Great work, guys. Great work. Not long now. We're nearly there.
That's it. All right, so when the boys have finished this one, then we're going to have a quick little 10-second rest before we get across into our total clam, which is where we keep the shin nice and level. So, Nate, what do you got planned for the weekend, mate?
So tomorrow morning I'm going for a walk in the morning. We've got a little walking group with my sister, Kira Lee Phillips, Kiana Charlton as well. I think Scotty Prince might even come for a walk as well. So we go for a walk in the city on a Saturday morning, and then duck back here for DC Fit.
Yep, that'd be a good little family morning, eh?
Yeah, if you want to come for a walk, let us know.
Yeah, mate, we'll be there.
Anyone welcome? Yeah. Yeah, we usually go for a walk in the city, just around over the Story Bridge and down the South Bank and around. So Kangaroo Point, start at Kangaroo Point. Should be fun.
That's it. Make sure you keep your social distancing, though, Nate.
Always. Yep.
All right, so when the boys have finished this one, then we're just going to move across into our straight leg lift, which is going to be keeping our bottom knee nice and bent, and then our top leg is just going to be nice and straight. If you want to make this one a bit more challenging at home, what we want you to do is to actually take that foot behind your body as well. So keeping your toes pointed down, and then taking your foot behind your body. So you can see there, Brandon's doing a great job of keeping it nice and far back. So Tyrell, I reckon you can challenge yourself a bit more, brother, and then move that foot backwards a bit. Yep. The top one. So moving it back and then leaning your hips forward, and then now doing that same movement like you're doing before. Notice that difference in the bunty? Yeah, that smile tells me yes. That's it. So keep going. So this one's a real challenging exercise. It's a great way of building our stabilizing muscles through our hips, which can really help with our falls prevention and our injury rehab as well. There we go. So the boys are doing a great job. They're back in Madura, keeping those toes pointed nice and low. And Charmaine, as usual, are nice and slow and controlled.
Work.
All right, you know what, Nate? I reckon because all the mob at home have done such a deadly job, I reckon that's probably enough of our Pilates exercises for today. So we're just going to do, a couple little stretches, and then so what are we going to start with, Tyrell? You're going to lead the stretches for us, mate. We're throwing you under the bus here. What's our first stretch going to be? So starting through with the calf stretch for Tyrell.
Yep.
Which is always a good one.
Someone who always is very vocal about stretching is Patrick Johnson. He always says stretching is very important before and after the session, and nothing wrong with a bit of stretching every day as well. Good to limber up and stretch the muscles, any soreness that you have.
Perfect. You know, PJ loves to stretch a yarn too, that fella.
Stretch a yarn, yeah, he can.
All forms of stretching. So for those of you who follow PJ on his social media, I think he was out back pretending like he was the elite athlete that he was.
Oh, I don't know about pretending. He'd be still
his 8x80s. He was quick, wasn't he? Absolutely quick.
Still amazing. Still the fastest man in the Oceania over the 100. So wow.
That's it. Was it a 9.98, I think?
He tells me every week. He tells me every Monday when he gets in, I'm still the fastest. No one beat me over the weekend.
That's it. And then so the boys are just working through a hamstring now, which is good to see. Super important. We're going to be stretching through all of the muscles that we just worked.
Yeah, big shout out to everyone tuning in as well for our Facebook live today. Charmaine, Nathan Yates, the boys down there, Nate and Jed.
That's it. Thanks, fellas.
And,
appreciate it.
Everyone else tuning in on Facebook Live, jumping in and doing the session today. It is very exciting that we are going to come back in tomorrow morning and do another session because we get a lot of really high engagement for a Saturday morning. Everyone's at home, and it's a great way to kickstart the weekend as well.
Yeah, so we got the Matsix crew, which are coming in tomorrow morning. So Tyrell's back again, I think. We got Janice, we got Malika, and we got Ash, which will be great. So we got the Matsix DC family coming in. So make sure you're tuning in, and they'll be giving you like a great example of the DC Fit program for when it goes back live back into communities later on this year. So the boys are now working on a bit of a hip flexor stretch here, which is super important, especially with we're all probably sitting down a little bit more than we're used to. So making sure that we're stretching those hip flexors out. Otherwise, like I said before, we can start to get a bit of a lower back pain.
Nice.
There we go, Nate. So we talked about before about you going for a bit of a walk with the family. What else is your deadly choice for the weekend?
My deadly choice for the weekend, something I'm very, I make sure that I do is drink my water. So making sure I drink 2 litres of water every day, staying hydrated. So that's a big one for me. So I can sometimes get sidetracked with work, and sometimes you can forget, but carry a water bottle with me all the time. I fill it up every night and then carry it around with me if I don't have my other water bottle. But yeah, just monitoring, making sure I get the 2 litres.
Perfect. And now the boys
and yourself?
Oh, myself? Well, the boys are just working. I'm on a glute stretch here. So they're just popping one leg out the front. I'm trying to get the heels just under their hips, and then I'm leaning forward. I'm into that. So getting a bit of a stretch in our bunties where we just worked. My deadly choice for the weekend is going to be trying to reconnect with a family that I haven't spoken to for a week or so. I was having a yarn with my grandma last week, and she's in a retirement village, and they've all pretty much been on lockdown, back down in Victoria. So she's starting to go a little bit wombat, stuck inside the house. So it'll be good to give her a call and just to touch base with her and just to see how she's going and make sure she's doing okay.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, as we get into the last few stretches, just a big. It's been a big week, but one more session tomorrow to kickstart the weekend and finish the week off. And while we have this opportunity, just want to say a big thank you to Charmaine joining us today, and Nathan Yates too, and the boys representing Medas down there in Mildura. So guys, thanks very much for joining us today. Always a pleasure. Nath down there is doing an amazing job as a tackling Indigenous smoking. He looks after and also supporting the Deadly Choices message and programs down there as well. So we've been had a great relationship and with the mob down there, and hopefully get back down there, and when this is all finished, catch up with the guys down in Mildura.
Absolutely. The boys are just finishing off with a bit of a groin stretch and a groin and lower back stretch. This will be their last one for the day. And then that's it. Then it's Friday, mate.
That's it. So we might say goodbye to everyone at home. Guys, thanks very much for joining us again today. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Remember, tomorrow morning, DC Fit Live is going to be a tough session. We want everyone tuning in. Tag all your mates, tag all your friends, tag all your mob, and let's exercise together and be healthy. So thanks very much, guys. Till tomorrow. We'll see you then.